What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of After Cinema Reviews. Today we are looking at the extremely manly film that is The Little Mermaid. I am one of your hosts, Ben. Take it away, Marshall.
Hello, I'm your other host, Marshall. This film's really good. I don't care what the critics say. I love this film. I actually sat there and really enjoyed myself in the cinema. I was bobbing along. I was loving it. Couldn't believe how good it was.
Would you
I
say?
did. I went with no expectations after all the other live actions. But yeah, go on.
Would you say you were part of that world?
I was. I wanted to be where those people were, dancing around.
But yeah, no, I actually I had low expectations for sure, as I've only I say that. I definitely had low expectations, but I've only seen The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast, as I've just kind of skipped the Disney live actions, as they're just not something that I feel is very necessary a lot of the time, and they kind of sometimes lose their spark. This was fine. I'm not a biggest fan of Little Mermaid anyway, from the animation or the animated movie. Like this film was better than I thought. Nothing too crazy, but it was still I had fun, which was good.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest downside might have been the extra hour compared to the original film, but
Clicks.
I was just throwing his microphone and keyboard around.
Yeah, I had to. I realized that I started typing to see what songs were in the original Little Mermaid because I forgot to search it. And it's right next to my microphone and it's really loud.
But no, in terms of the length of the film, I liked the length up until the last maybe 15 minutes. That certainly felt rushed, and with the length,
I agree. Yeah,
I think I would have preferred maybe an extra 15 minutes to do that a bit better. Other than that, if they stuck originally, I reckon you could have knocked off about half an hour to this film and it would have still worked just as fine, but just been a bit more digestible. But all the songs were really fun. I think the best song was definitely Under the Sea, just in terms of production. That looked really cool.
Oh, really? I actually disagree. I think Kiss the Girl was the best one.
I was trying to think which one was Kiss the Girl, but
Kiss the Girl. It's where they were on the
on the
lagoon.
boat. I you felt like I enjoyed all the songs. Like Maddie, our partners came to watch the film with us as well. You know, we had to drag them along. It was a difficult task to do. But
yeah, they just didn't want to come.
No.
It was just too macho for them. They just couldn't take it.
They weren't bright young women that were sick of swimming.
Yeah.
But she really didn't like Eric's song, and I can't remember if that's in the original film. There was a lot. I kept turning to Maddie to be sort of was this in the original? Because some of this, at the spoiler for 2 seconds, at the end of the film, all the mermaids appeared, and just kind of out of left field, Neptune appeared just in the boat, and it had me and Maddie howling at least.
It was very funny how they just suddenly the camera pans.
He's just sat floating, but that doesn't happen in the original film, and I was just sort of I enjoy having new parts added, but it felt a bit jarring for having not seen the animated film in a good year or two maybe. But
oh my, yeah, no, it was very weird. I was trying to figure out the entire film what was taken from the original and what's new, because I haven't seen the original film in probably about going 10 years now. I'm no Little Mermaid advocate. I don't go make an effort to watch it all the time. Ellie really is. My partner, she loves it. It's her favorite Disney film. She always wanted to be a mermaid when she was younger. She always tells me that. This film meant a lot to her, and I think she almost cried right at the start, just because her inner child was
Aww.
This is what I wanted, you know.
I'm fairly sure. I know I did do a post on my Instagram with Ellie, but I'm fairly sure we did it at the best, my favorite animated movies, and I really can't remember if she picked The Little Mermaid.
I don't know if she did. I can't remember.
No, I don't think she did.
Hold on, I'm doing.
No, she didn't. Fucking lied to me. It's not her favourite animated film. She had The Princess and the Frog on there. And
okay, that's
Alice in
arguably
Wonderland.
I think it was more that The Little Mermaid was more impactful to her. I don't know if it was
probably
her best film. I don't know. It is odd. I know.
but certainly was very surprised. Everything looked really nice. I think the only bits that, well, definitely the two bits that didn't look that amazing were Sebastian and Flounder. They could have definitely had a bit more TLC, but they
Yeah, so
worked.
Sebastian grew on me, but
Mm.
Flounder, I just couldn't stand him. I'm glad he got sidelined in this film. I hate the Disney live action fucking animals. Like humanoids, they're fine, right? They're all great. They're fucking fantastic. They normally
They're
get cast
humans.
really well, and they're fine. But like the animals, no. Because after that film, right, Ellie came out of the cinema and she was like, I was explaining that I don't really like the live actions to her, and she was like, "Yeah, but there's like a few I really want to see." And then the first thing that she said to me was, "Yeah, I really want to see the Princess and the Frog." I was like, "No, you fucking do not. You do not want live action, realistic little toads hopping around with their little pursed lips singing all the songs to you. You do not want that. You do not want to see that.
That
It would
cursed
be
image.
awful."
Imagine the Robin Hood live action, the
Oh
Fox
my
one.
god.
That would look. That'd be like the Cats film. Oh Christ.
Oh yeah, there's some live action films that I just don't think they should ever touch.
I was sat in there though, and I was like, God, I would love to have Tarzan on the screen, but like Disneyfied. But then again, I was just like, but I just want to hear Phil Collins. That'd pretty much be it. And I think I'd be sad if Phil Collins wasn't singing in it. But
Yeah, it would be a weird one. I don't
but
know. There's very few that I'd ever want to see live action. I think the art of animation is timeless, and
it is.
especially all these classic Disney films, they all still hold up really, really well. They still look amazing. Well, maybe some of the backgrounds and stuff
But
aren't the
they're just like
best.
they're just different like art styles and things that are just
Yeah, exactly.
going to change with time. But damn, one of the biggest things that stood out to me in this film was Melissa McCarthy. I had a right good old time with her, and especially her like Poor Unfortunate Souls. Like I didn't think she could sing. Now I don't know whether like lots of the technology helped her sing better, or maybe someone sung different parts for her or something. But as far as I was concerned, she was singing, and for me, she absolutely shone as Ursula, which was really cool.
Yeah, she was amazing. I think everyone was cast really fucking well in this film. Unironically, I think is it Halle Bailey or Haley Bailey?
I'm gonna say Halle Bailey.
Yeah, she was fucking amazing. She is definitely the Little Mermaid in my opinion. I liked her more than, well, maybe she's on par, if not better than the original for the Little Mermaid, because I had like no interest in the animation for Ariel, but I don't know, she really sold it to me. The way that she acted was phenomenal in this film, and her voice is so amazing.
That extra crisp voice. I had a lot of fun with her voice. I'm a big advocate of like good singing and just singing as a whole, and she was really outdoing. I think the only part, not to do with her singing, but one bit that did disappoint me a bit is when she like sings the part of this world where she's on the rock and the big wave's supposed to happen. The wave was a bit lackluster. It wasn't a big wave like compared to the
Yeah,
anime. And if they just made that really big, I would have been like, fuck me.
yeah, I think that was one of the few things that I never expected them to do well, because everyone knows that frame from The Little Mermaid, right? Everyone's seen the thing where Ariel's on the rock and the big wave comes up behind her. But like, that's got to be so hard to translate into live action. That's why it's, once again, I still don't think that these live action movies need to exist. I'm
Mm.
glad that they exist because it's now introduced a load of new young people and children alike into the world of, Disney princesses and everything, which was, I can only assume, is probably dying at this point, unless you got it on Disney Plus. You're never going to see them, really, are you?
No, there's not
But
many that are coming about unless they are now live action remakes. Unless you get things like
yeah.
where it's the Joey King princess or whatever film she did or whatever.
Mm.
But it is quite few and far between. Um, I'm going to nitpick a little bit because I definitely will need to say it.
Hmm.
And these are very literal things. And I know it's a fantasy world and things, but these were just very literal things that I noticed and couldn't not think of when they were happening. Eric should have died when he got like off the ship at the beginning of the film. Like it was nighttime and that man came to daytime on the shore and he hadn't got the water out of his lungs yet. Like he would have
Yeah, he
he'd have
definitely
he'd
should
have
have
been
died.
KO'd or at least brain.
The way that they got around it, right, was that Ariel used her siren song to
Well, he'd
save
already
him.
he'd already coughed up the water and then she like sung to like bring him to. But
Yeah, it was a
it's
weird one. I
yeah.
agree. It kind of bent it, but like I'm very, very good at realizing that this is a film made for children, and it can do what it wants, really.
I like, and then the other thing was definitely at the end during the battle with Ursula. Like Eric definitely should have died, probably like 100 times over with how bad it was on the sea. It
Yeah.
looked really cool, and I mean, I weirdly forgot that Ursula got like bigger. I don't know if she got that big in the animated film, but
Hold on, I've got it on the side right now to
uh,
see.
I was definitely surprised. I was like, it was the boat and the sort of like ship stuff on the sea at least was a bit hit and miss at times for me. Like it still looked good, but it felt very set like rather than the feel of Pirates of the Caribbean, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I felt Pirates of the Caribbean.
Like for how old at least the first Pirates of the Caribbean is now, like what maybe I don't know when did that come out? Like some like maybe 2005 to 10, somewhere within that region. The first one came out.
Yeah, I
Like
want to say 2000. Honestly, it might be like 2009, something a bit later than that.
maybe something.
I feel like I searched it recently and I can't remember now.
But like all the boat stuff on that looked far better than this film. Like in the Little Mermaid, it's not necessarily bad or anything. It's just like a thing that like I noticed and just thought about.
Mm.
The one of the again, like I'm talking about that. I'm just making sure I do like a proper like review. Like I had fun, I enjoyed it, but I'm picking apart some bits because the film wasn't perfect. I definitely think something that got missed and should have potentially been in a bit more was the sisters, because when you got to see them, all of their different like costumes, to quote, they all look really cool. Like there was I don't know what the correct terminology is now, whether I have to say black or coloured, whichever one is the correct one, we'll go with that. One of them, she had like really funky like coloured like skin and things. It looked crazy cool. Like I think
it was like the blue and the gold for me, where they had all the flowy stuff. Oh, and then the hair as well underneath the water. It all looked so good.
No, like
I think this film looked amazing.
Better than Aquaman for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Aquaman, eat your heart out. I'm not sure on the casting of Javier Bardem. That was I didn't see. I knew about Halle Bailey and I knew about the Melissa McCarthy, and then our Aquafina. We'll go with
Aquafina. Yeah.
Yes, I knew about her, and that was pretty much it for like named people that I knew. Aquafina though, she also shone a lot. I had a lot of fun.
And the little rap as well.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting. Bit cringe, but it was also cool at the same time.
I don't know. It got me jiving. I don't know if that was in the original film. I doubt it.
Definitely not in the original film. But yeah, the island as well. It had the same problem as the boat. Again, it didn't look terribly bad, but they felt very set-like. Where I don't know if you've seen The Descendants.
No, I can't say I have.
It just felt like we saw kind of the same things, or like the set. Like it felt very, although we saw lots of different things within the castle. Not the castle felt kind of the same. I don't know. It felt like we were in just like a big room with sand all over the floor, rather than like in a nice location being filmed. That's what I'm trying to say. But no, still had a lot of fun with the film, and hopefully. Well, not that I want more live action films, but I'm hoping it doesn't like tank. But I think there's going to be so much controversy around it where I think it will be hard for it to tank horribly.
Just I don't know. It's probably a weird one. I just don't know how many people actually care enough to go to the cinema now. If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't know how many like families are gonna cough up the like 60 quid just to take their two kids to the cinema to go see this film when they can just pay £9 a month to go watch it on Disney Plus a month later. Like it might not do as well in the box office as many people think it will, even regardless of all the controversies of race swapping Ariel and everything.
Like it definitely wasn't as bad. Like I'm sometimes a stickler for not necessarily the race swapping, but even with gender swapping for some like roles. Like I think there is a time and a place for those things, and they sometimes work, but a lot of the time they fail or don't hit the mark because they're pushing it a lot. But this film, I didn't feel any of that. There was no like one thing that made it a lot better was there didn't feel like any form of wokeness at all in it.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. It wasn't like they changed Ariel to be of, a different race, just purely, to be, oh look, we're being inclusive. It was just because she was good at the role and she was really good. They didn't have to force it down our throat
Mm.
or anything. They didn't. I was really worried that in the film they were going to make it sort of an allegory for race, but I mean, I guess it kind of is as it is, because obviously they are a different race,
Mm.
the mermaids and the humans, but they didn't make it, so far down your throat that you can't enjoy the film. They also gave her like way better lines and stuff and action. The bit at the end with the boat where she drives it in. I didn't realize that was Eric in the original film. Didn't realize that. I'm watching it now. Didn't even know.
Man's
You could have told me.
Man's two timing with the Little Mermaid now. Is going back to the original, but no, like it was also like the sister mermaids are all those races in the original film, as they all represent like a different sea, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, okay. I get you.
And kind of like let's just say the Indian one is the Indian Ocean. I'm fairly sure it's very on the nose like that, if that makes sense.
That makes sense to me.
But it was nice to see like the people on the island. There was a lot more. What's the word? No. Inclusiveness with casting. Like there was
representation, because I
that's
imagine
the word.
it is always
Representation. I was looking for that.
I always thought it was a Caribbean island that they were on.
Yes, that's what I thought.
And I did think it was kind of weird that it was completely populated by white people. But I don't know. I've never been to the Caribbean, so I don't know. I can't say.
Alright, because I was honestly scared that we were gonna hear much more wokeness in this film, or kind of like some take this with 2 cents if you will, but like some oh, I'm a they them, or just like that stuff put into the film that doesn't need to be in the film. Like we don't need that in the Little Mermaid. The kids themselves watching the Little Mermaid don't need to see some random they them flipping mermaid.
Well, I don't know if I quite agree with that. I feel like if they were to include it, it's probably really good, because the sooner people find out about their gender, and what's best to describe them, the happier they will feel in life. So I understand where all of the extra representation should be coming in from, but there's a time and a place for it most of the time. I understand why it needs to be there, but it's got to be done well. I don't know.
Like
I don't want to sound like a bigoted guy. I'm nothing like that.
Yeah, like for me, like if you took the Little Mermaid or a new piece of media that was made, in the times of the now where that's happening, then yeah, I'm all for it to be put in there, because that's what's happening. But that wasn't a thing, and it wouldn't excel the story. It would only detract, in my opinion, from a story if you were to take.
See, I don't think it would detract at all, really. It really is a weird one, because I understand where you're coming from, but as long as it's not like in your face, I don't need like Ariel coming to the screen and going, actually, my pronouns are. But at the same time,
that's what I'm talking about. Because I think I saw like a thing where it was like, I think one of the more recent Transformers cartoons, there's a robot that's had like a whole type of arc about them being
yes.
And I'm like, no, stop that right now. Like,
but at the same time, it's really important to have that, because
to have
like I said,
robots not know their gender when they don't.
No, that's the. Well, it's not that. It's more a case of the kids that are watching it. If they grow up not understanding or not feeling a certain way that's being like pushed on them, it must be really nice to have like, I don't know, a character that you watch. Maybe it be in Transformers, or maybe it be in something else that like shares something similar to you. I can only imagine that feels amazing. So I believe that there should be more inclusive of people with they them pronouns, I can't think non-binary people like that. I feel like there should be lots of representation for it, but I don't know. It's a really tricky one to do. You can't shove it down people's throats, because then they get annoyed with it. But then if you don't include it, people get annoyed with it.
I think it was
it's a really hard one to balance.
Oh, I think it was more the part that it was a robot. So just like, to me, robots don't have gender at all. To me, robots are like just what they don't particularly have. Like, I wouldn't be like, Optimus Prime's a male. He's just a robot to me. That's That's it.
And
That's the part of the bit with that. But we're getting far off topic from the Little Mermaid.
We're off the point.
We're off the Little Mermaid, but
yeah,
no, the end was very rushed, and that's something that I wasn't a fan of. I was being built up with all this, love trying to kiss the girl, but then it was suddenly
kiss the girl. Oh, that song's like stuck in my head. I loved it so much.
Then it was just like, oh, I've run up and had a wrestle with you and stole the thing, and now I've got my voice back, and I've been kidnapped. And then Eric somehow finds me in the middle of the sea. Somehow. Just able to easily find me and spear Ursula at the correct time. And then just some giant-ass battle in the sea that Ursula definitely could have won very easily.
Yeah.
And then a boat stabs her in the chest and she's a goner.
That is exactly how it happens in the original. So I understand what they're going for. But I always remembered the end of The Little Mermaid being on a boat. But maybe I'm like losing my mind there.
Might be number 2 or 3 or which, because there's a few other.
There are a few others, aren't there? But
yeah.
I don't know. I always remember them having like the wedding. Obviously it was just a proposal in this film. But I remember it being like a full-on wedding.
Yeah,
the animated.
Yeah,
film.
I think the wedding was on a boat.
Yeah, I just remember it being on a boat because then
Ursula
comes out
boat.
and it's like because obviously they still have the tussle. She gets her voice back. Ursula is on the boat. She like reveals herself and then she jumps into the water. So I always imagined it as Eric then just getting on a boat and paddling a little bit out, just because they were on a boat in the ocean and it was like close by. But I guess it kind of makes sense they kept close to the coast
rather than deep diving off the edge of the cliff face.
I always remember him finding them because of like the glow of the scroll that Ursula had as well. I was kind of annoyed that she didn't have the like glowing contract scroll in this film. I really like that aesthetic, but I don't know. I'm sure there's some convoluted way that he managed to find them and all of that. But
he managed to sail to the right bit, jumped into the sea at just the right time with the power of love.
Yeah, but like I can suspend my disbelief for a bit. I know it's a kids' film and it had to end that way, so they kind of just went with it.
Definitely would have died after they jumped off the giant Ursula that was like crazy high, just straight into the water. Just would have literally just gone splattered. But that's just another nitpick to.
I get you, but like. That's the problem with making them live action, because then suddenly you have to apply the laws of physics to everything instead of just being like, yeah, it's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's a cartoon. They can do what the fuck they want.
Yeah.
But goddamn them fucking eels. I'm fairly sure that happens in the original or something similar, but I got very annoyed when the eels flipped the boat. Because I was like, they need to kiss. I want them to kiss. Even though I know that the story doesn't go that way, but I was still very annoyed with the fucking eels.
Yeah.
Goddamn bloody eels. Flipping the goddamn boat, but no. Overall, happy with it. Happy with it.
It is the eels that flip the boat.
Yeah.
Disney Plus is doing wonders for me over on my other monitor.
Man's watching the film all over again. But no, I'm happy with it. I'll say I'm looking forward to.
It's Moana next, isn't it? Oh. I'm not looking forward to Moana, actually. I love that film so much, but there's no fucking way I want to see it live action.
Wait, there's a new... I didn't realise the Muppets Mayhem's now on Disney Plus. There's a new Muppets TV series on Disney Plus.
Is there?
Yeah. It's got like an 8.1. I'm so gassed to watch this now. Holy shit. I'm very excited. I love the Muppets. So I'm...
What is it?
The Muppets Mayhem it's called.
Oh, about the band.
Yeah. Oh, there is a film called The Little Mermaid 2: Return to the Sea.
I think there's a third one as well, but it's been
there's a walrus
bleached from the archives. Because I remember the Little Mermaid 2 and maybe the third one, if I'm not remembering wrong,
might be
were like straight to VHS.
The Little Mermaid Ariel's Beginning, maybe? It's got 6.1. It's got a higher one than number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them are shit. There's a reason no one ever remembers the sequels to the Disney films because they were rushed straight to VHS and no one watched them, and they were really bad.
I watched them.
You watched them,
And I'm
good for
fairly
you.
sure I watched the TV show that there was.
Yeah, there was a TV show, wasn't there?
There's actually a film called... Well, it's a TV series, Little Mermaid's Island, a spin-off of Disney's animated film The Little Mermaid. 2 episodes were shot but never aired. Oh my god, I'm just gonna... I don't even know how to send this to you. I'm gonna send it to you on Facebook because otherwise it'll make Discord go weird.
Sure.
Whatnot, but you need to see this, and I know I don't think I'll have the technical editing to put this up, but for the God's sake, if you a viewer have made it this far, go on to IMDb and type in Little Mermaid's Island and have a look at how cursed the images for Sebastian and Flounder look. It is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it looks like a dodgy porno of the Little Mermaid.
It really does. Holy shit!
Oh, it's Chip Henson though.
I know. Maybe it was just something that he tried to do, but they just, they were like, no funding for you.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe they just couldn't pull it off in the end. It was a failed TV series that didn't air, by the looks of it. Yeah, I think it was potentially like a preschoolers thing, by the looks of it, but no. Yeah, I had a fair amount of fun with this movie, and it's nice to not come out of a film already with low expectations, that was kind of crap. Just for me, I get uncomfortable in the cinema anyway, and I was moving like I was on crack.
Yeah, I felt like I couldn't, I don't know, the seats are always uncomfortable, but it's always a long film, and it always is annoying, but it's whatever.
But yeah, I think that's everything from us. Thank you very much for tuning into this episode of After Cinema Reviews.
Was that the theme? Make sure that plays at the start of every video from now on.
After cinema, after cinema, after cinema reviews. There you go. Boom. Intro song done. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned, all 8 of my viewers, for the next video that comes. Whatever.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse next Thursday.
Don't forget about Renfield.
Oh, yeah, we still haven't done Renfield.
I know, still haven't done Renfield. Renfield will come someday. Renfield, you'll have your day. But no worries. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.